Thanks to the support as a channel member, Stuart Chatterton. Our hunt for money continues today. It's FA Cup second round day. It's a long shot, but if we can find a way to beat League One Oxford, there's the big money third round just on the horizon. And we are in good form. So if ever there was a chance, this might be the chance. Hello and welcome to part 23 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have that FA Cup second round tie against Oxford United. Might I add, the first time in Peterborough Sports history we've ever reached the second round of the FA Cup. One game away from the third round, although Oxford are 7th in League One. So it's going to be a toughie. We also face Rochdale in the National League, and that's a National League that, as you can see, we are in the process of charging up. We had a very good November. The Diamond finally starting to do what it was really failing to do earlier on in the season. There's that one little blip against Hartlepool where somehow we managed to lose 3-2. That's not what I was trying to click. I was trying to show you the league table. We lost 3-2 against a team down in a relegation battle. But that aside, we went all month without conceding a goal and just comfortably beating everybody. Not really sure what went wrong against Hartlepool. They just kind of caught us. I guess they went wide. They just caught us on a day. I mean, look at the XG. Just one of those things. Sometimes you just get FM'd, and that's what happened against Hartlepool. But that aside, we have been fantastic since switching to the Diamond, including a 6-0 win in our most recent game against Halifax. So fingers crossed we can find a way to pull off a very unlikely result on the telly, I might add, against Oxford. Oxford also in very good form with a lunchtime kickoff on the telly. Get very excited. This is the first time, I was going to say this is the first time sports have ever been on the telly, but we were on the telly against Scunthorpe as well, and I didn't notice. Was that in the last episode? Were we on the telly in the last episode and I didn't notice? Right, this is the team. St Paul in goal, a back four of Morris, Sraha, Bennett and Leeson. Ahui at the base of the midfield, Levy and Kelly ahead of him, and then Clark behind Sewell and Okoronkwo up front. As time goes on, we are settling more and more into a set team. I kind of know who my better players are now. This Sewell, Okoronkwo, Clark front three is starting to look pretty good, although sometimes, probably half the time, Kelly is in the attacking midfield spot ahead of Clark. We're actually struggling to fit Flynn Clark in, which is a little bit of a shame, as he was one of our best players at the start of the season when everyone else was rubbish. And of course, he is a Peterborough boy, but we'll find a spot for him. You need a big squad if you're going to win the FA Cup and get promoted, which is of course what we're going to do this season. St Paul picks the ball up from the pass across from Bennett, and now Okoronkwo's come deep, releases Flynn Clark, as mentioned, Peterborough boy, and he's hit the post inside the first 40 seconds of a lunchtime TV kickoff. Have I just seen we've got nearly 3,000 people who've turned up for this match? This is probably Peterborough Sports' highest ever attendance. It's obviously not going to be enough money to pay off our £500,000 debt that we've accumulated over the last couple of years, but it is our biggest ever attendance. Of course, we are playing down in Histon at the moment, so not having all the fun of playing in Peterborough at the B Arena. And the sports fans have turned out in force. I imagine we'll find out that most of the fans here are Oxford fans, despite the graphics clearly showing 3 sides of the ground are blue and there's just the yellows behind the goal. But everyone else, I mean, this should be like 1,800, 2,000 sports fans. If there is that amount of sports fans out there, I suspect there probably aren't, especially if Posh are playing today as well, and with it being on the telly. Oxford have just had a goal disallowed. It's been, I mean, we've both had chances early on. We've hit the post. They've had a goal disallowed for an enormous offside. It is just under 3,000 people have turned up for this match. I just want to go back to that screen and just see, are Posh playing at home? Because if Posh are away, we've got to, yeah, Posh are at home to Woking. So if we were still playing at B Arena, it would be possible to go to both matches. The ground's not that far apart. With us playing in Histon, absolutely not possible. So I imagine the majority of Posh fans, assuming they're every game fans, they might look at Woking and think, that's less interesting. Let's watch League One opponents. We don't get to do that every week. But I imagine the majority of Posh fans are watching this game on the telly and then heading down to London Road afterwards. Bennett has been caught out a little bit here, but he's done very well to track the Oxford player, get the tackle in, and St Paul is there to collect. It remains 0-0. Oxford possibly looking the most likely to score at the moment, but as you would expect, they're higher up the League One table than we are in the conference table, although I suggest they're not in the kind of form that we're in currently. Fresh off the back of a 6-0, and they have come here with a flat back 7, including a wide centre-back playing in the middle, which I didn't think was a thing you could do. I certainly don't think it's possible for human players to do, but clearly the AI is a law unto itself and can play wide centre-backs in areas that are not wide. I want to play a central winger in this second half. If that's a thing that must be a thing that you can do. The AI can do what it likes. Oh, St Paul's been beaten there. It's been coming. They have been banging on the door, and St Paul, unfortunately, not able to get there ahead of the Oxford player, and the Oxford fans behind the goal are giddy with excitement. The car park's not very full, considering there's so many people here. You'd expect there to be at least a coach or two back there, and I won't say it's poor from St Paul. It is unfortunate, though, that he's kind of dived over the top of the ball and not really got anywhere. He got nowhere near either ball or player. I wouldn't have minded if he'd just clattered the player and given away a penalty, because at least then, you know, he's kind of aiming in the right direction. He just kind of flapped over the top of the ball there, which didn't really get the job done. We're going to go attacking. We're going to offer some encouragement. Obviously, we're not expecting to get anything out of this game, but goodness me, would we like to get something out of this game? I have no idea what kind of attendances Oxford get, but I mean, anyone turning up for a potential replay at their place would be better than no replay, or a replay where no one turns up, because we get our share of 50% of the revenue. And Straha has heard my little bit about wanting St Paul to give away a penalty, taken it literally, and assumed I want to give away a penalty. There was no reason to make the foul there. We were under no threat, and it's now 2-0 to Oxford. That's probably job done for them. And certainly, as far as the second goal is concerned, we've only got ourselves to blame. Keep reminding ourselves we are doing very well to be at this stage of the competition. We're supposed to lose against Oxford. Doesn't change the fact we are so overdrawn. It's ridiculous. We're getting those horrible letters several times a week telling us that we're having to pay overdraft fees, and we could really use the money from a big game or a replay or anything. If anyone could just give us £500,000, if you want to use the super thanks button here on YouTube to donate £500,000, I promise I'll see that it makes its way to the club. I promise it will make its way through to the club. Honest. If someone donates £500,000, I won't just flee to Mexico, never to return. That would be unprofessional of me. Right, let's see if we can have a consolation goal in these final 20 minutes or so. You never know. A consolation goal would be nice. Any goal would be nice, really. Imagine if we still managed to force the replay from here. Oh, it doesn't look like it. St Paul does hold on to that one. We've not created very much, have we? The game's very much gone with the stats, gone with the XG, and aside from that early little moment of excitement where Clark hit the post inside of the first minute, we never looked at the races, and that is a little bit of a shame. But I wonder how much money we actually made with our all-time record attendance, which I assume it is going to confirm we've broken. Can we continue enough times to get that inbox message just saying that was a record attendance? I assume it was. Maybe it wasn't. Let's just hit continue one more time. Are we genuinely saying that wasn't a record attendance for us? Because I find that a little hard to believe. Or is it just not the sort of thing that you bother putting on the inbox? I know they're trying to reduce it. Yeah, it's definitely a record attendance. There you go. Highest attendance against Oxford. Highest gate receipts, 66,000. So, I mean, it's made a little dent in we were over 500,000 overdrawn before. It's made a little impact. We're going to need a bit more than that, aren't we? An FA Trophy run? If we can run all the way to Wembley in the FA Trophy, maybe. Just need a rich new owner. Right, couple of changes for the Rochdale game. Then Stewart comes in at left back. Marshall's back in because I'll level with you. Still don't know who my best goalkeeper is, so we rotate them quite a lot, and we have promised Marshall will play him more often. So he's back in to try and keep him happy. Metcalf is available to play after not being able to play against his parent club in the previous match. Kelly moves back up in behind the strikers, with Clark dropping back down to the bench, because I still don't really find a way to fit Clark into this team consistently. And Bennett comes in up front as a natural pressing forward, with Saul dropping down to the bench as well. So, like I say, we're getting closer to a settled team. We're still not quite there yet. We will get there. We effectively started the season about 6 matches ago when we finally settled on this system, and now I've nailed down a lot of the positions. The majority of the back four is done. I know Cisse, Hinchy, they're key parts of the team. Kelly, I know, has got to be in somewhere. I'm just not sure where yet. Well, I do know Kelly's better there, but I also want to play Clark, and Okoronkwo is definitely our best striker, but I like Saul. I like Bennett. I also like Sturridge that we had last season, who's actually now on the transfer list because he got in a grumpy about not getting game time. So we're, if anything, we've got too many players. We need to get rid of some of them. But not Okoronkwo, because there he is with the thunderous effort off the underside of the bar to put us 1-0 up. And he is in rich goal-scoring form at the moment, and I am enjoying it very much. It's Rochdale 0, Peterborough Sports 1. And this is why Bennett's in the team. Natural pressing forward. He's just a little bit more selfless than all of our options we've got up front, and does create chances. I wouldn't say he's necessarily a creative player. He's very much a hard worker who does a lot of running, so those around him don't have to do quite so much running. And it certainly benefits Okoronkwo when Bennett is there. But Saul is probably more a goal threat in his own right. And they're both, it's a nice problem to have. Get your cliches out. It's a very nice problem to have. We've got a selection of really quite good footballers at this club now. And we've managed to break through a good old-fashioned FM23 flat pack 6. And they have come very close to grabbing an equaliser there. So we need to be on high alert from set pieces. And I need that league table to stay on the screen long enough for me to have a look just how clear at the top of the league Chesterfield are, because it's all well and good us pushing up into just on the edge of the playoff positions, but really, what on earth is the point of that? If we're going to be in a promotion race this season, which, I am going to keep emphasising, we don't need to be, we shouldn't be. We're doing all right as we are. I'd be happy finishing 8th, but I'd probably be more happy with 8th than I would be 2nd to 7th, because I just don't want to play in the playoffs. They're horrible and I always lose them. So we kind of need to be either settling for mid-table or pushing for that one singular automatic promotion spot, as the National League is the hardest league in Football Manager to get out of. Anyone who watched last year's Non-League to Legend and the subsequent spin-off over on Twitch and saw just how long it took me to get Leamington out of the National League, my word, we don't want a repeat of that this year. Of course, we could have another club come knocking. I've had no interest from other clubs so far, but if we continue to overperform in the National League this year, you never know when a big club might come knocking. Could we be in the final season at Peterborough Sports? Who knows? Hinchy's just done a football goal, and it's a very good one too. 2-0 to us. Excellent stuff. Dagenham and Redbridge just above us. I think they're winning as well, which is why we're not getting any closer to them, despite scoring goals in our match. Remains 2-0. I think it's substitution o'clock. Should we make some substitutions? We should. That sums up Calm Bennett perfectly. Deserves a goal. Rarely scores them. Often deserves one. But we will bring on Flynn Clark. And we're also going to bring on Reece Bennett. And I'm looking at Metcalf and wondering why I don't have Evans on the bench. Or anyone, really, who can play central midfield. I've got 2 strikers, 2 attacking midfielders, 2 defenders on my bench. This is proper depth we've got on that bench. In all the important positions, we'll just make those 2 changes for now. Leeson is there with the tackle to win the ball back as we charge forward, looking for our third. This is beautiful, quick passing football, and Okoronkwo is there for his 14th goal of the season now, as he really starts to accumulate quite the tally. I haven't looked at the League One. I don't know why I'd look at the League One goal scorers charts. I haven't looked at the National League goal scorers charts at all this season, because we've not really had anybody who looked like they might be getting close to getting on there. But Okoronkwo really is starting to become quite the prolific goal scorer. So we'll just check in on the top goal scorers charts before the episode is done. What I usually find is that you always have a couple of players at this level who are probably already on about 30 goals by this point. So I imagine he's not top 3, but he's doing well for us. He must be closing in on, he must be close to a goal a game at this point, because he hasn't started every match. It took a little while for me to decide he was my man. So I imagine he's pretty close to a goal a game return for us, which is more than enough. Although previous goal scoring returns suggest it means we'll drop him like a stone next season when another pretty shiny thing comes along. But let's have a look at the league. And that's not the league, that's us at the league. And yeah, there you go. Chimanga of Chesterfield already has an inconceivable 24 goals. And I was going to say it's come from nowhere. It kind of hasn't really. He's just been consistently an incredible goal. Are you kidding me? Did that genuinely happen? Have Chesterfield got crazy money? Have Chesterfield genuinely paid £400,000 for a striker in non-league? Because that is bonkers. I mean, he's scoring loads of goals, but I am surprised to see no one in League Two's maybe had a little gamble on him. That's mad. But not as mad as the fact that apparently they paid $400,000 for him in non-league. There you go. There's Okoronkwo in 4th place, and he'll continue to move up that list as the season goes on. Right, we are going to try and win the FA Trophy, but we're not going to focus in on it too much in the early days. So we've had a couple of matches quite close together, so I think we get our heads down now and get some matches played before the next episode. Probably come back end of January-ish and hopefully be well in that playoff mix, maybe even with a job offer. Wouldn't that be nice? If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.